Hey guys, welcome back to another one. This is another Theta update video, and if you like this content, please like and subscribe to the channel, and you can find me on Theta TV as well. Alright, in this video, I'm going to talk about how Theta has the potential to be the backbone for the future of augmented and virtual reality for professional sporting events in the future. And we'll break that down step by step, not only the NBA as you can see here, but all of the future professional sports arenas. I think Theta has the potential. So right here you can see how the NBA is starting to use Oculus to stream some NBA games using virtual reality, and it is pretty sweet. So the NBA's 2021-2022 season is in full swing and is returning to VR. So beginning on November 14th, there are certain games that were able to be live streamed using virtual reality. So there's a lot of restrictions right here, and I'll talk to this a little bit later in the video, but we're still very early. So there are restrictions and a couple other things that's kind of inhibiting VR from growing. And basically it's technology and cost are the two things right now. But I think once we overcome those two things, Theta should have a huge implication to the future growth of it. And another way we can see this is through this article over here, which kind of speaks to NBA virtual reality broadcasting on Oculus. And this was fueled by fully cloud-based decentralized workflow. So it's decentralized, but at the same time it is very centralized because all of it was flowed through AWS or Amazon Web Services. And if we check it out, this was all because of COVID. These innovations started happening, which is really awesome, and I do like it. And they talk to how the NBA is more progressive and it kind of leans forward with this technology. So Facebook has partnered with the NBA to deliver 10 VR broadcasts, like I just spoke to, using the Oculus platform. And this all stemmed because of COVID, like I was saying. So there are a couple things that they're working through. One is 4K video and streaming that at 60 frames per second. It takes a lot of bandwidth, and the reason, or one way they were able to do that, is this milestone over here. So they used a company called Media Monks, and they produced the live game coverage using Oculus. So in order to do so, they worked through a company. It's called The Switch, and The Switch did all of this over here. So this is kind of what this article is talking to, is how the Switch was very innovative in using technology and AWS to, broadcast this via the cloud. So I'll talk to a little bit, but the signal workflow is relatively straightforward. This is not straightforward. If you just check it out, this is the camera on site, and it has to work through all of these different steps to get to the AWS Direct Connect. And I have a better picture over here. And then once it gets to the AWS Direct Connect, it has to go through all of these steps over here to get to you. So not very straightforward whatsoever. But the article is kind of speaking to how it is awesome that, they were able to make this happen all because of COVID. And I do dig that. But if only there was an easier way to do that, and that is using Theta in order to do that. So the live streaming is much easier instead of going through centralized and inefficient systems, because can you imagine the cost of streaming 4K through AWS? I bet that is very, very expensive to do. So that is one thing that I wanted to bring up, how there was an easier way to do this. Another way we can see how VR is going to kind of expand in the future is just how many other professional sports industries are starting to use it. And you can see here the NBA, NFL, boxing, soccer, WWE, etc., NASCAR, they're all starting to use it. And we can see this on Fox Sports VR. So it is out there. They have all of the above, previous mentioned sporting events, as well as UFC, NHL, golf, and NFL. It's all via Fox. They also have NextVR, which has a couple other platforms that you can watch using VR. There's the Oculus venues that we kind of spoke to before. So all of these are different methods to continue to watch these sporting events, which are going to continue to grow in the future. And here is, even more data as to why it's going to continue to grow. One, viewers at home, they're going to have a better viewing experience. Instead of just watching, a 2D model, you can immerse yourself in the game, literally. And then fans will be able to identify with their heroes through VR, which is true. VR will provide coaches and trainers with a great new coaching tool, which you can kind of see from this little video clip right here, where you're kind of, looking through the lens of the quarterback as he's performing, which is pretty awesome. And then athlete performance will, improve through VR. Just being immersed in the game, they're able to perform certain tasks just by using virtual reality. So, there's examples on examples. I won't go through all of them, but there's ample examples as to why VR will continue to take off. Even though right now we're still in the experimental phase, very much so. And one of the things that's kind of holding it back is the cost, kind of like I said, and the fact that they're still trying to monetize it. So in this article right here, we can see Shaw said Facebook isn't close to monetization, the VR offering, and will make that a priority once we feel good about the experience that everyone's having. So first they're working on the experience, the tech behind it, and then they're going to start trying to monetize on top of it. And one way in bringing out the tech, improving upon the tech, and bringing the cost down is through Theta. Kind of like I was saying before. There's many different ways, and not going through the centralized AWS, trying to broadcast 4K 60 frames per second. That's probably not the best way to do it. When there is another way out there through decentralized nodes where all you have to do is upload that stream to the Theta ecosystem, and then the rest is kind of taken care of for you. So it reduces the cost of delivering video streams. So video platforms no longer need to build expensive infrastructures. Means more innovation and unique business models. And, kind of circling back to this over here, that is something that, the business, they created from scratch, which is very, very impressive, but it's also very complex, especially when there's already something out there and that platforms don't need to build that because there's already a solution out there. So one last thing I wanted to touch on was just the fact that this business, the business of virtual reality and augmented reality, is going to substantially boost the overall revenue. Just reading this stat right here, the rise of VR and AR will have the potential to boost GDP globally by 2030 up to $1.5 trillion. And that is an article from PwC. So VR and AR, it is here to stay, and I think Theta, with their technology, as long as they can position themselves correctly to work with, all of these different companies, I do think they do have the leverage to make streaming very inexpensive, and that would definitely draw in all of these big venues, the NBA, the NFL. As long as the technology can catch up, I think the streaming part is taken care of. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And once again, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.